We finally made it. The brand new Robert Eggers movie, Nosferatu, is here, and someone's flickering the lights on and off. Who is that? Nosferatu! You knew that was coming.
Come to me.
So this is a gothic tale of obsession between a haunted young woman and a terrifying vampire infatuated with her, causing untold horror in its wake. It's rated R, obviously, bloody violent content, graphic nudity, and some sexual content. We have Emma Corrin, Aaron Taylor-Johnson, Bill Skarsgård as Count Orlok, Nicholas Hoult, and Lily Rose Depp as our lead. Also, Willem Dafoe, can't forget him. Lily Rose Depp is kind of like a co-lead with Nicholas Hoult, and of course, our Skarsgård boy is on screen quite a bit, more than maybe even I expected. I expected him to be this looming, haunting figure in the background, and he is that, but there are also some moments where you're spending time with him on screen and Lily Rose Depp. This is like a messed up, weird, very physical love story in a way, but it's incorporating those gothic horror vibes that I think we all expect from Robert Eggers. Eggers directed The Witch, which I really appreciate as an artistic horror movie. It's one of my wife's favorite horror movies. The Lighthouse, I was a big fan of. Not as much one for the general audience, but I think The Northman did a little bit more of that. The Northman had that broad appeal, with still kind of maintaining what The Witch and The Lighthouse did so well. That said, I was looking for a movie that had a little bit of both. That artistic touch and flair, as well as something that I think a lot of horror fans are going to appreciate. And the atmosphere of this film is one that I believe everyone is going to watch and appreciate. If you want to be in this time period, the early 1800s, if you, I guess, not too early, a little early, but if you want to be sucked in and transported to the world that we are living in, this decimated and at times desolate world where there is a plague happening, that's kind of a big part of what this film is. Dealing with this plague that's been brought on to the people that we're following, but trying to decipher whether we should approach it in a scientific way, or if we're talking about demons and spirits and vampires and, well, your boy. Nosferatu! Well, that guy, but not that guy. It's a different version of that guy. It's that guy. Bill Skarsgård, well, obviously he's done it before. He's played It the Clown. He often kind of sinks into the characters that he's playing. This is the least Bill Skarsgård performance I have ever seen. He disappears completely into this character. And it's not one of those that you kind of barely see him, you barely get to know who he is. He's on screen enough for me to be able to tell that that's Bill Skarsgård, yet I can't. He disappears into this terrifying entity that has a way more simplistic goal than what I could have anticipated going into this film. And no, I'm not going to spoil anything, but there is one singular focus that this character has. And there are some people that want to help him achieve that goal. There are also some people that don't believe in the existence of what is causing all of this evil to happen. One of those characters, played by Aaron Taylor-Johnson, his wife Emma Corrin, they're skeptical of the entire thing. But Lily Rose Depp, her character, she's just kind of freaking out while she's sleeping, repeating some very demonic-sounding words, moving her body around in all sorts of ways. It's a very sexual story, and I know that may throw some people off, but there are some elements to what we're seeing play out on screen that were much more sexual in nature that caught me off guard, but it also manages to spook you, stay with you, and just kind of haunt you as you're watching. And this whole movie, it's dark, it's bleak, it's bone-chilling, yet visually it's almost the opposite, right? With these dark scenes and moments, yes, it's coming across that way on screen, but it's lit in such a way that allows it to come to life in such a beautiful way, man. The camera placement, the shots, the framing. There were certain shots where I'm like, is Wes Anderson at play here? Because the symmetry is just gorgeous to look at. This may be Eggers' best looking movie to date. And one thing I look at when I look at his filmography is how good his movies look and how the atmosphere just sucks you into where you are and what you are dealing with and who you are following. And this may be the best sense of atmosphere I've ever felt while watching an Eggers film, man. I was just so into it, like on the edge of my seat. Don't know what's going to happen next, and we're really just kind of following Nicholas Hoult's character in the beginning as he's going on this journey to make a little money, make his life a little better, maybe being a bit more selfish in the process, because all his wife wants, all Ellen needs, is his love. Now, that's not what she needed when she was younger and all of this started happening in the first place, but in this moment, she wants to be with him because she's also having these bad dreams, these nightmares about him bringing death upon everyone. And, well, if Nosferatu knows anything, it's how to bring death and plague upon the people, and that he does. But the journey there was fascinating. Maybe I could nitpick that journey by saying, well, he went on this big long trip and his clothes always looked pretty pristine, and the passage of time in this film may not be the best that I've ever seen, but the journey itself was really interesting, and I don't want to use the word entertaining. You're just kind of sucked in. You're just kind of invested. You want to know what's going to happen next. And at every turn in this film, I wanted to know where it was going to go. And as we introduce these characters, specifically played by Willem Dafoe, and the Doctor, played by Ralph Ineson, we're bringing back some people from his other movies, which I love. I love when a director does that. The chemistry between all of these people trying to solve this one big issue that has come upon their people, but also try to figure out, okay, what's going on? Because the mystery at play, while it's obvious to us, it's not obvious to everyone else involved. And so that, again, is creating for some complicated and horrifying circumstances, some grave, some dire situations, and it's a bleak outlook on everything. And just the way life is at this point, it's bleak enough, but then where it goes, and this film doesn't hold back. I mean, there are some shocking moments for the sake of being shocking, but also shocking that will just have you like, I can't believe they just did that. Admittedly, he's not the scariest looking horror icon that I've ever seen, right? But it's the presence, it's how he appears, it's what actually happens. It's a couple of jump scares, not the most jump scare filled movie, but when they happen, they actually work. It crawls, it gets under your skin, and you're very uncomfortable with the presence of Nosferatu. And when anyone encounters him, you just fear for your life because you know what this thing is capable of, and it is displayed so prominently, elegantly, but also terrifyingly on screen. And again, that's what I'm looking for with a director like Robert Eggers. And again, Hoult is great, Taylor Johnson is great, Dafoe is great, Emma Corrin is great, Ralph Ineson is great. Who else? Who else is in this film? Oh yeah, how about Lily Rose Depp, who does some things here? She has to get extremely intimate. She has to get a little wild because she's trying to pull away from this spiritual entity. But man, what she goes through in this film, I could make an argument, and I don't think this is going to happen just because of the way that they treat horror movies sometimes. I could make an argument that she not only gives one of the best performances of the year, she gives an awards-worthy performance. She is so freaking good. What she has to do, what her character goes through, so well written, it is awesome. And then that chemistry, or lack thereof, with Count Orlok when they're on screen together, whether they're in the same room or not, I mean, physically, emotionally, mentally, it's a lot, man. But it's handled so well, and she is spectacular. This isn't just a technical movie. It's not just a well-written or directed movie. It is amazing performances across the board. Personal favorite being Dafoe. Lily Rose Depp was probably the best. I could also make an argument for Nicholas Hoult as the best performance as well. When you have a movie with multiple performances that good, you know you are watching something special, right? Look, I acknowledge it's Nosferatu, but I'm just saying Nosferatu because of SpongeBob, okay? I want you all to know that. Stick with me here. Also, it's just capturing a vampire movie in this way, to where you're seeing the castle up on the hill, you're seeing all of these frames with the production design. It's like, this is all classic vampire goodness, just presented in the most epic and cinematic way you could imagine. So if you're a vampire fan, you're going to freak out while watching this. Look, obviously I don't have any major complaints about this. I was clearly enamored, but some minor nitpicks. I don't think some people are going to be as scared as they want to be. It's a gothic fantasy type of movie that's uncomfortable and often unnerving. That features some jump scares, absolutely, but it's not going to make you go, oh my God, that was the most terrifying experience. I don't want you to get the impression, I'm not trying to do what people were doing for Longlegs earlier this year and saying it's the scariest movie of all time, because it's not that. It's a very fantastical movie where our characters have a mission and a goal, and you're kind of on this journey with them, but also something that can be unnerving, that can make you feel a certain type of way. And that type of atmosphere and this time period that we are living in is so fascinating for me. I'm okay that it wasn't the scariest movie I've ever seen. It's just one where the journey really does do what it needs to do. And I think a lot of people are going to dig it for that, whether that be the visuals or just the technical craft of it all. And like I said before, there were some things about his journey that I wish they would have showcased a bit more of that, and the passage of time wasn't shown perfectly, but you're so immersed in this world that they're providing you, even if you're not scared. That's the thing. If this movie doesn't scare you, I still think you're going to be able to really enjoy the experience. And that's what a good horror movie's all about, man. It's not just the scares, it's the experience as a whole. And so I want to know, are you excited for Nosferatu? Is it as good as the original? I haven't seen the original. I've always heard it's one of the scariest movies ever. I've never seen it, but I did see the scene from SpongeBob, as you know. Nosferatu! If you enjoyed this review and you want a Nosferatu spoiler review, drop that like down below because I want to talk about the final frame, the final shot in this. There's so much to talk about, man. If I get enough likes, we'll definitely do that. Nosferatu is a fantastical Gothic epic that oozes creativity and puts Eggers' technical craft on full display. Lily Rose Depp gives a tormented and often terrifying performance, while Skarsgard fully transforms. If you are looking for a truly immersive horror experience, this is it. Nosferatu is one of the best movies of the year. I kid you not. Again, it's a weaker year, but horror in general right now, man. And it's not just the straightforward, scary story. It's the substance. It's Late Night with the Devil. It is this movie. We're thriving in 2024 if you're a horror fan, so I'm feeling great about this one. Christmas Day. Are you going to celebrate Christmas with an evil blood-sucking vampire? I'll see you soon.